Hey, right on schedule. I knew D-Batch was going to come out of hiding. He's come out with Linus Tech Tips' video where he says that it's not an Xbox. Now, here's the challenge about this whole conversation. We all know that D-Batch has discredited himself with his own categorization of the Asus TUF RTX 5090 GPU, which he can't tell you if that GPU is not an NVIDIA GPU or if it's not an Asus GPU, because it's the reality that both things are true, right? That Asus made the GPU, it's an Asus TUF 5090, and it's also an NVIDIA RTX 5090. But Linus Tech Tips, where he's wanting to actually hedge his bets, is one where I think these so-called fanboys want to now use convenience to hide from the reality that they don't necessarily want to be honest with you. Number two, they're being predictable, as we already knew from the calendar that we predicted that they were going to be coming with some fugazi news about this device a day before it came out. Do you guys remember? I already basically told you all that this was pretty much how it was going to go ahead. And look, that there would be some fugazi Xbox's dead news that's going to show up, and they will latch onto anything, even things that are contradictory, to try to make you go ahead and see it. Are y'all ready for the contradiction? Are you ready? Are you ready? The video that he's citing is Linus Tech Tips' Xbox Ally X, a PC gamer's perspective. Very interesting. What's crazy is D-Batch is now here saying reviews are in, and the verdict is it's not an Xbox. Laugh emoji, full video. And I'm thinking to myself, you do know that Linus by himself 4 months ago said the first Xbox handheld. He called it an Xbox. He knows it's an Xbox device, and he's being purposefully obtuse. You will get views. You will get engagement if you say that this is not an Xbox. You know that, right? Now, ask Linus Tech Tips. Just because you collaborate with somebody to make something, which I'm sure he's actually collabed with, especially when it comes to his merch that he's almost always pushing, would he call it not Linus Tech Tips merch? These people cannot live up to the standards for the claims that they're all making. It's not possible. It is impossible for them to be able to do that. And so with someone like, D-Batch and all of that, one of the craziest things is he's going to double down on lies regardless of whether you tell him the truth or not. So what we've been doing is we've been predicting their lies. So as one of them jumped ahead of schedule yesterday, the rest of them are on schedule with the lies. I told you, today's the 15th, that you were going to get an Xbox Ally, and I put pre-orders canceled in my, my parody calendar, and they're here. They are literally here telling you exactly what they want you to think. And for people like this, truth can never, ever touch them. In fact, you should see Puderok right now. Do you know what he's doing? He's spurging. Do you know what spurging is? It's where he's saying all kinds of just because he doesn't want to address the lies that he spread 2 weekends in a row about Xbox's hardware. Do y'all remember? Look at what he's saying. He went on Sam's Club's website on his phone, recorded himself searching the Xbox on Sam's, and he found an out-of-stock notification. To him, he thinks that is a proof that Sam's Club has dropped Xbox. When I went there yesterday, and I actually had a picture showing him, the picture that I had showed that it had the Xbox and also had the Xbox Ally device coming soon. At the time I searched a Sam's Club out of my region. I did block out the zip code and the Sam's Club itself. The Series S was in stock. He wants to make it seem like the Series S is not in stock, hence they dropped Xbox. That's absolutely a big fugazi lie. He doesn't want to go ahead and apologize. The previous week, and I've kept this one under wraps, he made a video 10 days ago where he said Xbox hardware division shutting down under new Microsoft CEO. He spread another lie, and he will not apologize about it. You cannot trust these people. These people have basically destroyed and tarnished their image. He thinks, and I think what's actually happening here is Puderok thinks I'm a console warrior, so he's using console war tactics, not realizing that I'm actually that guy that wants everything to burn down in the console war. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the guy that actually wants consoles to basically get irrelevant. So using those tactics to me basically allows for me to use your momentum to drag you deeper into the, what I think is weird conundrum that is this console thing at the end of the day. So check this out. I replied him and I told him, after you apologize for spreading lies 2 weeks in a row, I can show you my PC and my Steam and Xbox and PlayStation receipts. But he's distracting. He even came out with this and says, you think Rome fell in a day? Put a rock. I'm not Rome. My name is Emake. I am not Rome. My YouTube channel is VG Fight School channel. I am not Rome. I'm a PC gamer. I play games on Xbox from time to time, but I've played more on PlayStation. So I'm actually in your house. The PlayStation that you also want to, I'm sitting in there looking and going, I am not, there's nothing special here, as I know the ins and outs of the current PlayStation generation, as well as last gen where I was playing on PlayStation. So you trying to use these tactics of, for instance, look at what he said. Xbox putting, he says, you're no different than those who went at me over Xbox putting games on PlayStation. Let me tell you exactly how I'm different. I went after the Xbox guys for complaining that Xbox put games on PlayStation. I blocked some of them, argued with them, and I dismissed their backward thinking as Xbox had already been putting games on Steam. Unlike you, I prefer to go with the data that's available with me. I have no interest to actually spread fugazi nonsense. It's very simple. Everything is out here for everybody. Why you all will not go ahead and actually tell the truth is what's the fascinating thing. And you know what? I have now rallied the entire Xbox community I can get my hands on Twitter and YouTube to now focus very carefully on what it is that you all are saying. You all are lying to people. You know what you're doing? You are lying to people, and you choose to not retract your lie. In fact, you feel justified in lying. And that's, I think, where the biggest problem is. So in you feeling justified that you are actually, in a sense, entitled to say what you want, right? You think you're entitled to say what you want. I got to tell you, you probably need to go ahead and review exactly where my position is. And honestly, these last 2 weekends of October, I am going to fixate my attention and my full focus on it. You want to dodge it. It's impossible. I will now view everything. I will now categorize everything that you say and that you pretty much assess from now henceforth from the lens of the weekends of October 11th. Everybody listen to me. The weekend of October 4th and October 11th. These 2 weekends where you have purposefully not vet your information and spread rumors and not retracted those rumors is basically going to be your tag. That's it. Every time you talk, I'll just put it out there. Every single time you say a word, I'll put it out there. You can spurg all you want. There is no amount of spurging that's going to get you out of here. You hear me? If you want to say, look at what he's saying. He's just talking. You're talking in circles. He says, you're missing the lesson. Those like you would try to call me out for the knowledge I pass. Here's another example of me telling people CFO of Xbox said games are coming to PlayStation and got pushed back on that too. Puderok, I don't care. I'm happy that those games actually went to PlayStation. I championed those games going to PlayStation. You're talking to people who were console warring with you. In these 2 weekends, that's the focus. Let's stay on topic, sir. The focus is that these 2 weekends, you spread false rumors. Switch it up and tell people you are retracting those statements. Else, your assessment of Xbox will forever be judged from here. I'm not saying you can't make a mistake. I'm not saying that you cannot get something wrong. I'm not saying that you cannot make an error. But if you will not admit to it and you think that I'm here console warring against you, no. I am attacking the foundations of the false claims that you've made about Xbox because you have to appeal to a PlayStation fanboy community. And I know that if I chip away at it, your appeals get weaker and weaker unless you get me off of your scent. And the only way you get me off of your scent is if you retract that statement. That's about it. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I love this intellectual exercise. This is how you do it. You ask people to basically go ahead and take accountability for their ideas. And if I made anything wrong, I'll be the first, and I have to be, because else I'll be called a hypocrite, right? And as much as a wonderful hypocrite that I am, I don't always like, exhibiting that behavior in front of all of you. So let's go. Peace out.